Hi, I'm Renée Walker, a mindset mentor, speaker, and lover of all things spiritual. I believe that at our core, we are all spiritually wired for love, peace, success, and abundance. Here on the podcast, we're diving into mindset, wellness, and business, but always through a spiritual lens. Let's just say we're going deep, but we're keeping it light. So let's elevate your life from the inside out, one conversation at a time. Welcome to Spiritually Wired. Welcome to the Spiritually Wired podcast. Our episode today is going to focus on a term that we hear a lot these days, but that can sometimes be confusing, and that is alignment. So you've probably heard this. Just make sure that you're feeling aligned. Are you feeling aligned? Are you in alignment? So we use the term often, and most people will nod their heads as if, yes, I get it. But there is sometimes confusion around what does it actually mean to be in alignment. So one of the tools that I find to be helpful is using the chakras. The chakras in as a way to actually bring yourself back in alignment and to understand what alignment is. So if you think of the chakras, the first chakra is the root chakra. So being in alignment means that you are grounded. That's what the root chakra represents. When you're not grounded, you're in your head, there's a lot of excess energy moving through your body. Being grounded means that you are present in your body, right here, right now, where your feet are touching the ground. You are present. I heard as well the grounding as being alive in your body, and I love that way of thinking about being grounded because it is about being fully alive and present. And the other way that really has resonated with me lately is to think of it as belonging. So, belonging in your body, belonging in the space you're in, being very present to all that is. So, first piece of alignment is being grounded. The second piece is connects us to the sacral chakra, and that is creative energy. The element with the sacral chakra is water, right? So there's flow, there's movement. And so when we're in alignment, you're not rigid. There is space for openness, for movement, for allowing for life to unfold so that just when you think of a tree and the branch, right? The root being connected to the earth, the branches, there's movement there. When there's a big gust of wind, there's space for the branch to move. So the sacral chakra is very much feminine energy, creative energy, moving energy. So that is also a piece of alignment, that you are open to the flow of life. Then it's the solar plexus. The solar plexus chakra is connected with your power. And so when it comes to being in alignment, you are also in your power. You are showing up from an empowered place versus a disempowered place. What does it mean to be disempowered? It means that whatever it is that's happening externally is bigger than what is happening within you. You are looking outside of yourself for external validation. When you are connected to your power, you are not looking outside for validation or reflection. You are aware of the external. You can learn to work with it, to be with it, but you do not use it as your source of validation. So when you're in alignment, you are in your power. You recognize your strength. That is more of a masculine energy. And so being in alignment means that you are honoring both the feminine energy in your sacral chakra, the masculine energy in your solar plexus. It's not one or the other, it's both working together. Heart chakra is the next one. Being in alignment means that you are showing up from a place of love. One of the best questions, how can I choose love in this moment? So whenever you feel where you are not necessarily in a good place, where you are uncertain, where you're searching for answers, where you are maybe not feeling in alignment, one of the questions that can help you bring you back is, how can I choose love in this moment? What does it look like to choose love in this moment? And that is very much, again, based on that sacral energy of being open to changes, because what serves you, what it means to choose love in one moment will be different than the next. In one moment, being in alignment might mean that you need boundaries. You need to say no, while as in another situation, it is actually saying yes and opening yourself up to a completely different experience. So really being aware of that, choosing love, showing up from a place of unconditional love. Then we have your throat chakra. Your throat chakra is all about expression, but about expressing your truth, what is true for you. And so being in alignment means that you are willing to express that truth, regardless of how it may be received on the other side. It's not always easy. That is something that we're always working towards. But if you are in alignment, you are speaking your truth, or at least honoring your truth, right? And what does that mean for you? The next chakra is the third eye chakra. And the third eye chakra is very much connected to your intuition, to your inner knowing. And so being in alignment means that you are actually moving through the world from a place of being very connected and tuned in to your inner knowing. How do you do that? Well, you have to give yourself the time and space that you need in order to turn down the volume on all of the external noises, on also the voice of fear, of the subconscious mind, of the programming, of the ego, all of that, and you're turning up your volume on your inner knowing, because your intuition is always speaking to you, and it's speaking to you through your body, through different senses, and we're all different. So everything we're speaking about today, it is a practice. It takes time, just like we don't start to work out and expect everything to our body to magically change. It is a relationship that you have with your physical body, with your mind, with your heart, and learning to listen to your intuition. Now, a big piece of the third eye, the intuition piece, is not only listening to it, but trusting it and taking action based on it. That's the piece that, again, takes time. It's not always easy. And part of what stops us is that we're looking for this black or white answer. We want confirmation that this is your intuition. This is my intuition speaking. It's probably the question I get asked the most is, how do I know? How can I tell that this is my intuition and this is not just fear? And the reality is that you never fully know. This is what faith is being willing to trust it without actually having that external confirmation of, yep, you're on the right track. And that takes time and patience. It's this muscle that you are building, it's this willingness. And when you are listening to your intuition and when you're willing to trust it and to take action on it, a big piece of it is what leads us now to the crown chakra, and that is surrendering. That is being in connection with a divine, universal consciousness, this state of infinite possibilities. You can call it whatever you want, the universe, source, spirit, God, whatever it may be for you. But in order to be in alignment, part of it is also surrendering and being in a co-creative relationship with this higher power, recognizing that you can't control life and you're not meant to control life. You can't control the waves in the ocean. You're actually here to learn how to ride the waves in the ocean. That is what your purpose is. Your purpose is to be the fullest expression of you, and that is all of the different parts of you, and it's never going to be one thing. What holds us back is that we try to make sense of things. We try to intellectualize a a practice, a process, a way of being that you cannot intellectualize because it actually lives beyond the mind. And so surrendering is so important. And surrendering, when we're speaking of the intuition piece and the trust piece, it means that what I can do is actually learn to live in alignment, to stay grounded in my body, to move with life, allow for that creative energy to move through me, stay in my power, show up from a place of love, express my truth, quiet down enough to actually listen to my intuition, take action, trust based on that inner knowing. And then the rest of it, we literally hand it over to God, to the universe, to source. Because that's the part we don't need to figure that out. This means that you are trusting that life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. And so, even though you may be doing all of the things and you're taking action, and it may not turn out the way you were hoping for, when you live in a place of being connected and you are fully surrendering and trusting, then you know that it not working for you actually is working for you. It's because you're meant to be redirected. You needed to do the thing because maybe there was something you needed to learn from it. Maybe there was someone you needed to meet. Maybe there was an opening, a book, a way of thinking that you needed, your higher self needed. And so, in not working for you, it actually was working for you. That is what it means to trust deeply, to surrender to the unknown, to life, to be in this co-creative place. And so when we casually mention the term, be in alignment, that's what being in alignment means for me. Now, with this work, I always encourage people define it for yourself because again, we can use all of these terms and we've never really paused to think of what does that actually mean for me? What does trust mean for me? And maybe where am I asked to trust a little bit deeper? What does listening to my intuition feel like for me? It is such a personal experience that we have. And it is just one of the most beautiful ones. So I hope that this serves you in some way. And I really want to remind you always that you are spiritually wired, that you are wired always for love, for peace, for abundance, for alignment. And I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to Spiritually Wired. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow and leave a review. It really makes a big difference for the podcast. And if you're ready to dive deeper and join a soul-led community, come be a part of the Spiritually Wired membership. With weekly live lessons and a rich library of recorded classes, it's designed to support you every step of the way on your spiritual journey. We currently have a special offer where you can receive your first month for half the price. You can find a link in the show notes or come check it out at reneewalkerwellness.com. Until next time, remember to take some deep breaths. Remember that you are spiritually wired.